Hotline Hangout. Hotline Hangout.
That's going to be the new intro music.
I can make my own sound effects.
Hotline Hangout.
Why are you playing that way? You know we had a long-term based relationship. Just go ahead and just tell me that you want me. I know I want you. Just get in my life a little bit, please.
What are you saying?
Oh, sorry. It's going off a little trance.
Weird. It's weird that the opener happens at the end of the show.
Hello, hello, hello.
Hello, and welcome to another episode of Hotline Hangout. My name is Shane, and I will be your host today, along with my buddy, my pal.
Hey, that's Steve.
Hey, it's Steve.
Maybe you talked about me this time. Again.
Bastard. I was waiting for that dramatic pause to see where that actually goes through. But,
And we are also joined, once again, by the talented James.
Ooh.
He's the only one cheering.
raise it.
I have way more fans than both of you. Everyone's on Team James.
Oh, yeah, he's Team James, 100%. And, yeah, how have you boys been?
Pretty good. It's been so long since I last
It's been
seen
a
you.
while. Haven't seen you in a while.
been quite a
I like
bit.
your shirts.
Oh, I know.
Boys, we are matching.
Wait, it was definitely not in the Discord group. No,
It wasn't.
This is how it
Planned.
starts.
This was an accident.
As the viewers who cannot see, we're all wearing black shirts.
And no pants.
No pants.
I never wore pants, so that's not new for me.
James showed up in his underwear, and I was like, "What in the hell?"
That's the benefit of working on with like...
I go commando. I never wear underwear.
That's the benefit of working at like
Same.
at a whatever house job.
A whorehouse.
Yes. Where you have to like even do like conferences and stuff like that if we're on Skype and everything. You just
Oh
wear
my
no
god,
pants
Steve, you look
underneath.
like you're about to fall asleep.
Oh my god, yeah. I'm struggling to keep awake right now, but I'll
It's
wake
crazy.
up gradually.
That kind of reminds me. So I was wondering because like I'm basically with you all the time.
Yeah.
And like, you know, we go to the gym together. Like we're kind of like always in communication. But I've never seen you purchase a burner. Like where the fuck do you get them from? You just like
He
show
has
up
a
and you
guy.
have them. I'm like,
He
what?
has a guy.
That's funny.
He has a guy. Was there like a dispenser in your building or
Honestly,
something?
that's so funny. I actually had quite a few people where did you hear that? That sounded crazy.
What was that?
I don't know. It's just like, oh. Maybe that was your puppy.
No, I was looking at him. He's not
He's just
weird.
sleeping.
Okay.
I
Some
actually had
crackhead
a guy
outside.
back in the day
He had
where
a guy.
I would go and actually get like cases like on like slabs from him. And it's not an addiction, first of all. I got it under control.
You can stop at any time.
All right, says the guy. He's like about to pass out at the
I could
table.
stop at any time. So basically, I used to always go to him and just like, hey, because like he would buy them from like discount, basically, where he would get them. Ooh,
What in the heck?
yeah, what the hell's going on? But anyways,
whatever.
where he would always go and get them like on discounts because I think he buys it directly from like the
burner factory?
Yeah, like the seller, and then they would basically cut him a profit for that, and then he can get it at like a cheap discount deal. Then they whatever put the merchandise out on the shelves. So from there, I went to him. I was like, man, like I'm in here majority of the time. I was like, what if I just like buy them directly from you, from like the wholesaler or whoever you get them from? And he's like, yeah, sure, why not? I was like, really? He's like, yeah. He's like, how much you want? I was like, how much you normally get? And after he was just kind of sell me
48,000.
like a crate. And
You have
so
to get like a truck to deliver it.
So where do you put all this stuff in your house? Like you just have like a corner to
oh, it's just like what everyone else does.
He doesn't have a bed frame. He just has like a burner
just
pile.
Like, they just
He
like
puts some
piled
mattress on
it
top of it.
Everyone has the little knickknacks, the little ceramic knickknacks and everything too for their prize and joys. Mine's like my burner collection.
Mine just all my magic cards. It's
But,
across my house.
Yeah. I don't know. It's just like what anybody else does. You know, like when you buy like a
Nobody else does that.
well, okay. Shut up. When people buy like soda and stuff like that, you know, you buy excess when it's on sale, and they just kind of like line it up beside. Is that just me? Am I the only one that does that? You just put them on,
I've
the
bought
line of,
like you know things on sale like in
Like-
excess, but
Yeah.
like never
Never crates.
that much
never crates.
That,
burner.
Yeah, we didn't need pallets. Like
That's
bring in the
funny.
forklift, like just load it in my
Yeah.
car.
Well, he lives in a building, right? So he actually had a crane come and deliver it through the balcony.
Drop shipped it off on top and go straight through. But no, yeah, just like the excess, I just kind of have on the side of the fridge or whatever, and just like let it sit there until it's time to replenish and refill the fridge.
That's absolutely
So it's just
insane.
like it's so funny, just because like I think I had a buddy over before, and we were just doing like MTV Cribs. Because
You were doing MTV Cribs?
well, it was like a parody of MTV Cribs that we did, where you know how they always like open up the fridge. It's like, let's see what we got in our fridge, and we're just like
Steve
top to
thinks we're a
bottom.
lot bigger than we actually are. He's already
it's-
getting it ready.
It was
Steve
so
has like a
funny.
walk-in fridge, like you get at a restaurant. It's just full of burner
Because
and like
back-
maybe a couple of chicken breasts.
Back in the day, I was feeling OG, and I found like a discounted crate where you could buy like Cristal, like the whatever.
Cristal.
Yeah, it was legit Cristal. That's how you knew you made it at the time. So I just went out and actually bought like a crate of Cristal, and I think it came with quite a few because like per bottle was like $500 to like $1,000, and then it was just like I think it was like $1,500 for like I don't even know, it was like 12 like bottles or something like that, which is like
Cristal.
of Cristal, which is like a crazy good deal. And then like I just had them in my fridge at one point in time, and then like my buddies or whoever comes over and they open it up and just see like just like a crate of Cristal just chilling there with just
Was
like
the fridge made out of like clear glass too, or like?
well, because that's what I'd like. Actually, it was kind of like a wine fridge I put it into, so it was just kind of like the,
okay.
the clear ones and everything too that stood upright. So at that time, I felt quite OG, and then yeah, and so same concept, I guess. Now that I moved over from my alcoholism over to caffeine addiction, what I do with rock stars now.
Well, that's that's interesting.
The more you know. Put the little thing. Edit.
All right,
Whatever how it goes.
it's the opener.
It just starts with the more you know.
Yeah. Oh man, I was totally gonna say something else. Totally forget. Whatever.
Yeah.
Anyways,
How's the job been, Shane? Anything cool happen in your job?
the job. Oh no, my job sucks, dude.
Sucks.
It's all right. This is my job.
Still grinding.
no,
Yeah, that's
Editing
right, we have this.
podcasts.
Been making money. Been getting
Yeah.
a little bit of some on the side, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Little
Yeah.
subscribes. Little subscribes.
How about you, James? Win any more tournaments as of recently since the last time we spoke?
No, I would turn on the August 3rd that I need to practice for, but other than that, nothing big major.
Well, seeing as that was about 2 weeks ago.
Yeah. So good for that one, James.
Well, it's August 3rd now in my head, so yeah.
Just some reason that day sticks. I respect that. Respect the hustle.
I'm going back in time to play that tournament.
Yeah. I guess so.
Yeah.
Whatever works, man.
Guys have any any more Belle Delphine news? She's still fucking around with shit?
She's still hot.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, it's so weird. Like she just has pink hair and like that's basically it. Like have you ever like watched any of her videos? She sounds
No.
like so
How do you guys feel about like dyed hair? Like, you know, not
dyed hair.
like pink, like the bright red, like blue hair.
Oh, whatever. They're usually wigs.
Do you think so? Like just like
Oh, yeah,
extensions or
definitely.
something like that?
They're always like wigs or something.
No, maybe.
You couldn't seriously like walk around with that hair. Like she probably doesn't have an actual job, but like she can't walk around like that.
Well, she's just like a cosplayer and everything too. So with that, I don't know. She probably has enough money just to kind of like get like the extensions where they're just like clips-ins.
Why wouldn't you just wear a wig? It'd be so much easier.
Would it be easier?
Yeah.
Oh well, yeah.
You just put a wig on. It's like putting a shirt on.
Some reason
Like, would you rather put your shirt on or would you rather clip your shirt on, Steve?
if it was Velcro, I would definitely do the Velcro option.
Oh my god, even that would be harder than putting it on.
Well, I was gonna say, even because if it's like a full head of hair, sure, why not just go with the wig type situation where it's just like a whole thing.
What are you
kinda
just
tuck
gonna
it
put
in.
like a
But
ducktail in?
no,
Like,
because I thought some girls like they just have kind of like streaks or portion. And
Steve,
that's
it's
what I would assume.
2019.
What do you mean 2000?
You're talking about like
extensions.
Yeah,
you're
yeah,
talking
it would be
about
like
like a
color
single
extensions.
extension in like
No, but they
Grade
have
school.
like flocks of them that they can kind of
They
like
have
really
flocks?
do the updo for it.
Waka Flocka Flame. Did you guys hear about how Donald Trump? So he tweeted at anybody, I guess, and he
Was it at Hotline Hangout?
no, unfortunately, I don't
Not
want. I
yet.
don't really want him to tweet at us
I just-
unless we get arrested. Because apparently he just tweeted out. He said just spoke to Kanye West about his friend ASAP Rocky's incarceration. I'm calling the very talented Prime Minister of Sweden to see what we can do about helping ASAP Rocky. So many people would like to see this quickly resolved. And then like a couple hours later, he was like, just had a very good call with Swedish PM Stephen Löfven, who assured me that American citizen ASAP Rocky will be treated fairly. Likewise, I assured him that ASAP was not a flight risk and offered to personally vouch for his bail or an alternative. And apparently they set a follow-up phone call for 24 hours.
Jesus.
So like ASAP Rocky went to Sweden.
Okay.
He got into a fight and his like little his security posse
Yeah.
like assaulted somebody.
Okay.
And he got arrested, which like legit, you know, if you assault somebody, like you're assaulting. And I don't know who started it or whatever, but either way, like even if they both were fighting, like that's assault for both of them. Like, you know, you have in Sweden, apparently the law says that you have the right to subdue, but like you can't just like, if like somebody starts swinging at you and like, you know, you could just totally pummel them. But what you should do is just like subdue them. Yeah. Well, like, he probably subdued him and then just like started swinging and, assault. Now he's in jail and they're like holding him. He's in Swedish jail and yeah, President Trump is involved. Like, imagine that like chain of events. Like, I don't know. I don't even know if like
with their friends, like them and like Kim Kardashian, like they're.
Oh yeah, for sure. But like, I don't know. I'm pretty sure like I wouldn't want like, let's say I'm friends with Kanye West. I wouldn't want like Donald Trump to tweet at me and like try and help me out. I'd be like, oh shit, this is very bad for my image. Like, I'll stay in jail for a week. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, I was gonna say, well, because either or, like, I think with the whole hype and everything too, with like the whole charade with like Donald Trump and everything too, because like it's starting to come around to like election time, so you're gonna see more of his like face popping around.
Why are you talking about ASAP Rocky though? That's like private citizens' affairs. Like you can't just like be like, hey, that's my friend. Like, I know he does it with like everybody else, but like, come on, like, there's like degrees of separation here. Like, he's clearly doing a favor at this point.
I don't know. Maybe he's
Imagine
just trying
getting a call from the president of the United States and they're like, hey, let our ASAP Rocky go.
I am not a crook. But I don't know, because like I can understand it for like the I guess like the little hustle that he's actually trying to do is he stay in the spotlight, because nobody really knew. Like, I don't even know who the hell like ASAP Rocky.
Oh no,
is.
ASAP
Like a musician. Or
don't
some
date
sort?
yourself, Steve. ASAP Rocky's like a really popular musician.
Seriously? Is he?
Oh yeah, I
Wow.
love ASAP Rocky.
Is he like a producer, or is he just like
he's
is he actually a musician? Okay,
he's a performer.
Okay, well,
Yeah.
So much for that.
You don't need to know anything about ASAP Rocky to know that he's a really popular musician, and Donald Trump is tweeting about
That's
him.
fine.
Well, related to like Rocky Balboa.
No,
Yeah,
he just did. He did a cool song with Tyler the Creator recently
Sylvester
called
Stallone
"Potato Salad."
called Eye of the Tiger.
Yeah, so I told my friend about that.
Yeah.
And my friend, you know how like when people say "OMG," oh my god. Well, he actually typed out the whole thing. Oh my god. So it's like
he
really
got my
disappointing.
vote. But
yeah,
that's honestly that the whole like if you kind of really look at it, it's just like him working a hustle, and he's just trying to appease to whoever the hell he can appease to, just to
whatever.
stay in the spotlight.
Like somebody in the comments on like a Reddit post about it was like, "Hey, you suck at being racist. You can't pick and choose." And I was like, "Oh man." But like, yeah, I don't know. I just don't understand, man. What's this guy's angle? Whatever though.
Well,
like, sure, whatever, cool. Yeah. Anyways, so there's that, and then yeah. Did you guys hear about the new? Well, I don't know how new it is now, but the lawsuit against Nintendo about the Joy-Cons.
Yeah, you were actually just informing me a little bit about that. It's actually very interesting when I was actually reading it.
Yeah, it's like super interesting. So basically, what's happening is the Joy-Cons for Nintendo's Nintendo Switches, the analog contraption inside of it that actually like moves the controller. So after about a year or two, there's this thing starting to happen called drift, I guess. And basically what happens is you stop touching the controller, but the character will keep moving. Yeah. And, that is bound to happen in analog devices like after like 5-10 years, which is like fine, right? But it's starting to happen right at about the time where the warranty expires because apparently they use like cheaper parts or something inside of them. And then, so that's happening. And then people are getting charged to warranty replace them.
Oh, yeah.
And I don't know how much a set of new Joy-Cons cost.
They're in CAD, they're roughly around $60 to $70.
Oh, wow. That's incredibly expensive.
Yeah.
For like,
just for controllers.
For controllers that like there's nothing wrong with them outside of normal
Are they
use.
even that expensive? Like a Pro controller is about $60.
No, they're still
still that
yeah,
much?
they're still that price. I was actually pricing them out when I was at like EB Games or whatnot. And EB Games has a tendency of kind of like upping the pricing a little bit. But you know what that remind me of? I'm not sure if you guys ever had that experience with it, because I don't think this is like really anything too new. It's the same concept with the
On Amazon,
Okay.
they're $99.
oh wow
They're $100 Canadian.
wow, and that's
Yeah.
I was gonna say, is that Canadian? Okay, yeah. So like I said, normally the cheapest I am seeing them roughly around is about like $60-$70. But
Oh yeah, they
plus
must go on
taxes and
sale at
everything.
some point.
Yeah, they
This is
usually
all
will
of
drop
them.
down, but.
Wow.
But even then, like I was saying, you know what that actually reminds me of with the Nintendo 64 controllers back in the day. Back, it was in 1996, I believe, where...
Before I was born.
Well, you obviously played Nintendo 6 in 64, right? You said you have the console and everything.
What's that?
All right, you son of a bitch.
I wasn't alive in 1964, so I wouldn't know.
1964? No, 1996.
Yeah, 1964 for Nintendo 64.
It's the only year that I remember.
Okay, back to the point I was making.
Yeah, sure.
Was
Well,
that,
yeah, we get the point, Steve.
with the analog controllers itself, with the little directional pad they have on it.
Yeah, didn't that used to happen too?
It did warp it basically.
It was
over
hit or
time.
miss though, and I remember that if I ever had that problem, I would just bang it on something until it worked again. You remember like the
Yeah,
good old days of
that's funny.
technology where you could just hit them and then they start working again?
Yeah,
that was so good.
It's so funny. There's actually a name for that. It's called percussive maintenance. if you didn't know, if anybody didn't know that,
I believe it.
or yeah, it's the Russian way.
The Russian way.
But it's called percussive
No,
maintenance.
Well, no, you have to hit it with like nothing other than like your skin.
Yeah.
Like
Well,
you can't hit it with like a hammer or like
that's a concept. of
anything
it, yeah.
else. It's got to be a smack or something with a hand
Yep.
or a kick.
No, I did love blowing stuff. You know, that's how I get it to work. I just blow on it, and
What?
it always works.
Didn't you ever read those articles where it's basically saying your saliva is actually the protein in your saliva is just breaking the metallic?
No,
Stop!
I,
Don't do that.
I did blow on it.
But yeah, your saliva is actually breaking down the actual metal pins when you do blow on, like, let's say, old school Nintendo cartridges and whatnot.
Well, it's just vapors, right? It's
Yeah.
not your saliva going.
But
into
no,
it, ideally, unless
it's-
you have like a really
it's correct.
spitty blow.
Ew. It's like making, like, it's like corroding the metallic.
Well, yeah, because it's moist, right? It's
Yeah.
on metal, and
Yeah.
so it oxidizes and
Yeah,
whatever.
yeah. But so I don't know. That's one other thing that's really kind of triggered. So it's not really like new what happens, because over time with analogs.
Well, okay,
itself,
so it's not new that it's happening,
Yeah.
but like there were manufacturing defects in like old analog like N64
Yeah.
controllers and stuff. This problem is different though because they actually used a inferior method
Okay.
to produce the Joy-Con. So basically the way that an analog thing works or whatever, it's supposed to have like a mechanism inside that like
a
literally
calibration.
like draws like a line or
Yeah,
something or
yeah.
whatever, and it like measures it or something like that. Like I'm not entirely sure how a joystick analog works, but like it's an analog signal, right?
Yeah.
Between like 0 and 1,000, and then it like measures the impedance and then like
Yeah.
knows where you are. But apparently in the Joy-Cons, instead of using like a quality material that's like known to last a long time or whatever, and like mind you, these things cost $100 Canadian, and you're not like asking them to put like a pound of gold in it. You're asking them to just like use aluminum or something that isn't going to break. But
Like a
what they
sturdy
ended up
material.
using
Yeah.
is graphite. And what happens in like my understanding, like this is a very like layman explanation of what's happening, but essentially the graphite is like drawing, and like graphite, by the way, is like the same thing used in like pencils, right? Like basically what the graphite is doing is like drawing a line
Yeah.
and then like moving, right? And like graphite, it's being worn, kind of like how a pencil gets
Oh,
worn
yeah,
after you
yeah.
use it.
Okay.
And what's happening now, or what happens basically is like after a few years, like very little graphite is being like chunked off or whatever, but
Mm-hmm.
like where is it going once it's been rubbed a bunch, right?
Yeah.
Well, what's happening is it's creating a dust inside the analog contraption for the Joy-Con controller, and then the dust is causing there to be like
Is that James?
yeah.
James, you're blowing
like breathing into the
heavily
microphone.
mic.
Oh, I didn't realize that was. I can't hear it.
Well, that's because it's coming out of you. But what's happening basically is the dust is creating like an electrical signal that is like causing it to think that it's moving when it's not.
Yeah.
And like there's no way to fix it.
Oh,
The
yeah.
whole analog contraption on the controllers needs to be
Yeah.
replaced. And like man, that would bug me so much. Like if I bought into one of these things, like that's one of the reasons why I hate buying consoles is because like you buy into a console and you know that console is not going to work after a while, right?
Yeah.
And like that bugs me. Like I hate that like I have one computer and I can play PlayStation 1 games, I can play PlayStation 2, I can play PlayStation 3, and most of the PlayStation 4 games that I want to play are cross-platform now anyways, right? I have one device that plays all of the games that I've ever wanted to play over the span of like 3 decades.
Yeah.
Whereas the Wii or the Switch, it's only good for a few years, like maybe 4 or 5 years. But now the Switch has a battery in it, right? So now you got to like maintenance the battery, or you got to do this, or you got to buy a new one, right?
Yeah.
Like it immediately has a lifespan on it as soon as you buy it, and you know what that lifespan is. And like beyond that, like you can't replace the battery, or you're not supposed to at least. Like I'm sure people will figure out a way.
Yeah.
But you know, and then on top of it now, they have like faulty components that are literally built to fail after a year and a half. And I don't know, that just like drives me insane. Like I it's just like so hard. We were talking about this a few weeks ago where I was saying like, wow, I'm like ready to pull the trigger on the Joy-Con because like even if it's not going to last forever, like knowing that I could like replace a battery in it or this or that or whatever, like it makes me feel good. But now it's like, wow, you know, I'm going to have to spend like $100 of maintenance every couple of years playing this thing. Like that's stupid. I don't want to do that.
Well, because I wonder even then if this is such a big issue, whether they're trying to say it's consistent enough where it's not defined definitive as a user error, where it's like a spastic kid throwing his controller or something like that around.
No, this is common.
Like so they're saying
saying
like, you know, they have too much research data to suggest that it's not. So that's why I guess they're going to go ahead and file the actual class action lawsuit towards Nintendo. I don't even know what company's doing it, like which actual law firm's doing it.
The reason why they're making it class action is because like Nintendo is basically denying that there's an issue.
But I don't know, like it's going to be really hard to do it just because Nintendo has like a very, very thorough quality testing team as well behind them.
Well, yeah, but like how long are they testing these things for?
But they test it as much as like any other company would test their product devices. Like they're not doing anything out of the ordinary or illegal to sort of matter.
Well,
like,
no, it's not illegal, right? But like these products are basically designed to fail after the 1 year manufacturer warranty, right? And like the 1 year manufacturer warranty is all that they have to do. But like these see, like the thing that bothers me is like it's built to fail after 1 year, right?
Yeah.
Like if a product fails after like 5-10 years on average or something like that, you know, you could argue that, okay, well, this thing has lived a full life and like it's been used and whatever, and like sure.
Yeah.
But these things are failing right after the manufacturer warranty, right? Like when you make a product like in good faith, like you make a product with the assumption that, you know, it's going to last for at least 1 year and we'll deal with it. But beyond that, it should last for a reasonable amount of time. Yeah. You know, like you still got like N64. Okay, so like take it this way, right? Yeah. You still have N64 controllers from the 90s that work today. Like they're brand new, right? So if those can be pulled 20, 30 years into the future and they still work fine, then like why couldn't you expect a Joy-Con controller?
But the thing about that though, like not to play like devil's advocate or anything like that, is that let's say perspective wise, whether it's like a child or whether it's myself that's actually playing this console or playing this game. Myself, I maybe bust out my Nintendo Switch maybe about once every week, if that. Is that your puppy?
Yeah, he's having dreams.
That's hilarious. But like,
oh, so cute.
so like the saying I was saying was that like I'm not a very like avid user of it. Like I play it probably an hour to 2 hours, like maybe once a week, if that, versus as like a child who's playing it like, let's say every waking hour that he can, like he's playing like for 8 hours straight sessions, and he's playing it like continuous, like 7 for 7 per week. Same concept, let's say if we look at the Nintendo 64 controllers, because I know that was like a big issue.
Yeah, but when you were a child, or when I was a child at least, I'd play the N64 all the time. Like every single day we were playing N64.
But like
controllers still work.
Well, because like I'm not like aggressive or anything too with my controllers. Like, but like I've noticed that too. I'm not sure if it's just like the odd bunch that might have happened. Of course, you have your favorite color controllers too when it comes down to the 64. Mine was always like the black one or whatever. And so like I played it, and like it get to the point where the analog would just kind of stop responding, basically, where you have to like.
Did you try hitting it?
Where you have to like kind of like angle it twice as hard for it to kind of work and to respond correctly the way that it needs to. And like that's like the controller I always went to, and like of course back in the day, like I was playing like 6-7 hours of like pure gaming because like I didn't really have much friends, and I just kind of did my own thing anyways.
So nothing has changed.
So it's still up to this day nothing.
But like in this case, they specifically had like people look at it and see like, okay, well, what's the problem? And it was because they chose to use graphite instead of like whatever the hell they normally use. In there.
Maybe it was
a design choice.
Yeah,
like
yeah. Maybe
some engineer somewhere said, hey, we could save like let's like max it out at like $5 per controller.
Yeah.
They could save $5 per controller. So the cost of the controller is still $100.
Yeah.
But the controller itself is like way cheaper. Like, it's just so dumb. Put $5 more into it.
Well, I guess yes and no, but maybe sure. Like, are they in the wrong for doing it? Ideally, they are a business at the end of the day. They got to think about.
Yeah, but it's Nintendo. They're the happy company.
They are happy, but they still got to try and turn a profit, regardless or not.
What do you mean? Did you know that Nintendo apparently has like enough money in the bank to
go bankrupt?
Not operate at a loss for like 100 years or some stupid shit like that? These guys got money. They don't need it anymore.
I think it was like 200 years or something like that. They said where if they don't make anything else and they just kind of live off the cash they have, they could still float for like 200 years or something like that.
Oh yeah, that's insane. But you know what? Like especially like for people like me, right?
Yeah.
And like I'm not trying to say that I'm like the majority consumer here, but I need to have faith in a product before I buy it.
Okay.
And I already I went over I'm really tempted to buy it right now because I think Nintendo's finally at a good point where it's like, okay, well, you guys are like in the process here of like having a good product that's like viable and like I feel confident buying it, and then this happens and then they're like, oh yeah, well, we don't stand behind our product. Like sucks that it doesn't work for a bunch of people, but we're not going to do anything about it even though there's like a known flaw.
Yeah, well, because like even
it's like those power gloves.
Oh my God.
This is what's going to happen.
Those
They're going to give
just, like,
people
aesthetics.
they're going to give people graphite gloves to like replace
get like graphite poisoning or whatever. But even then with that, that's like the main thing though I always keep going back to is like Nintendo is just known for its innovative power, not so much of like having quality like material or quality things. It's just like they come up with this new idea concept. Like it was like Nintendo that like originally came up with like the wireless concept of a controller and everything too, and that's kind of where they adapted and other companies picked in and like I'm not sure if they did purchase the patent or anything like that, but they bought into the patent so they can merchandise and put that on their product as well.
Oh, wow.
That's the whole concept with like Nintendo. Like they're just there to be like the innovative mindset to get the stepping stone going.
Yeah,
that's the way that I always see Nintendo from when they started from like gaming, like from cards leading up to electronics, leading up to what they are now. So
I hope they fix it because like.
Oh yeah, well,
I really want to buy a Switch,
like
but I don't want to buy new Joy-Con controllers in 2 years.
Yeah.
Plus, they get more expensive over time, man.
I wonder what's going to happen with
Just buy a
Switch.
Pro controller.
Because I wonder, has they said anything about the Switch Lite that's actually supposed to be coming out for it?
Well, see, that's the thing too. Is like it's using different materials. We don't know yet. Yeah. I'm sure somebody's going to do a teardown and be like,
more flimsy.
They use graphite.
Because
well, I'm pretty sure you can't take them off. So.
No, you can't take them off, but they still have the
peel it open and everything too. You can still open it up.
Yeah.
But like you were saying, like that's always like the first problem with like that. Like I call it the prototype basically, where it's like the first couple of years when a console is released. Like you don't know the hit or miss.
True. And so, but this is an analog like a joystick. Like it's not like the prototype joystick, right? It's like.
Well, I don't know, because like either or, it's still a part of the system console itself. It's the same thing with like when I first picked up like a PlayStation. I deliberately wait for I don't even know like a few years, and if everyone says like, wow, like it's great, there's no bugs, there's no issues. Sure, of course, there's going to be something that comes up that someone's not happy with. I'm like, okay, good enough for me. I'm going to go ahead and purchase one now. Like I'm
always a day one guy. I want a new system day one.
Yeah, I learned I learned from my mistakes from like the PlayStation 3 when it kind of first came out. Like I picked up one of the consoles too, and then those were like the only ones that were like backwards compatible. And then from there they re-released them with like bigger hard drives, but you can't play anything backwards compatible. It only strictly plays like PS3 games, and then so forth and so forth.
Yeah, I'm like especially with hardware. Like I guess. Like when I was like much younger, I always used to be like day one for like a lot of things.
Okay, yeah.
But like now I find like I have a little bit more like
you have
the
more
fraction of a percent more patience, and like I find that like having that now it actually like works out a lot better.
Oh yeah,
for me in like a lot of ways actually, because like you find stuff and like mind you, it's very small amount of more patients.
Yeah.
But you kind of find like, you wait a little while and then like, oh, they don't release that software update that you wanted. And then, so, you wait and then like version 2 comes out like 6 months later, or like there's a sale and like you could have got it cheaper.
Yeah.
I don't know. And like you get screwed enough times and then you're just like, I don't want to buy anything anymore.
It's so funny how you were talking about an increase of software itself. What if you went under a test trial to actually get like a memory chip implanted in your brain?
To do what?
Control applications.
To control apps?
To control applications to utilize like everyday technology, whether it's going to
That'd
be
be
your
awesome.
computer or
We
your
have like a little
your
timer in
phone.
here for the podcast. Save $20.
Yeah, because it's so funny too. Because like I'm not sure if you guys might have heard or not, but Elon Musk is actually in the works of trying to get nanotech kind of more or less like a neuro chip actually implanted within
Brains.
I don't even know like if he's like specifically aiming towards like a specific type of person, but ideally they're still in test trial bases and everything. They're getting great responses with lab mice and I think they said monkeys as well on like apes and everything too that they're actually testing on, where they were trying to see if they can correlate with this, I guess like a processor or whatnot, to see if they can actually get it to communicate wirelessly.
Yeah, to communicate, yeah.
And that's where like the big thing is they wanted to communicate wirelessly versus us, because they tried it with wired and wired's working pretty decent. They're able to train mice and everything to kind of use applications.
If they can do wired, they can do wireless.
Yeah.
That's kind of crazy though, because that actually kind of like, you know how like you wiggle your fingers, like you feel your fingers or whatever? Like imagine the internet was like we already feel like it's an extension of ourselves, right?
Yeah.
But like imagine you could like actually feel the internet as like an extension of yourself,
wow.
or like an application on your phone or like a timer or something.
Yeah.
Like let's say just like a timer, like you feel your alarm clock like missing or something, right? Or like when you disconnect from that, I don't know. That's really weird because like not on top of like the technological effects and like you got to worry about people's brains getting hacked and like stuff
my
like that.
God.
But like on top of that, there's like psychological things too. Because like we're already addicted to technology, but imagine if it was like embedded in our brains.
Oh wow.
Like the stuff that we use, like we're heading towards the Matrix for sure.
Well, because like that was like one thing I was thinking about. I was like, what type of like, because of course it didn't get like FDA approved or anything as of yet.
It reminds me of that episode of Archer where where he gets the chip planted in his brain, and so like he's being controlled by like a rabbit.
Yeah.
But he starts to freak out every time like the satellite passes overhead. He's like, I want lettuce.
Because one thing that kind of reminded me was like we're just that much closer. I'm not sure if you ever watched like these anime shows. It was called like Sword Art Online.
Oh yeah,
That's exactly it. Like we're just that close.
get like locked into the online.
Yeah, we get locked into like this online like MMO game, and you have to physically react and play.
was a
as, like,
good
your
show.
normal- Like it's right next to
first
that.
season, at
Oh
least.
yeah, I love the first season. It's like right next to. I think there was another one I really kind of enjoyed. It was like Log Horizon.
I never watched that one.
It's pretty much a very similar concept. Someone told me about it, but yeah,
Horizon's okay.
yeah. But going back to the Elon Musk stuff, man, it sounds like has science gone too far at this point? But I could see the aspect in the relations behind the pros and cons of it. But just think about the possibilities for someone who's like a paraplegic, where they can still vocalize verbally, but for them to kind of be sitting there pretty much a majority of the day itself, where you could actually give them like a source of entertainment where they can control just with like their mind, like it'd be like almost like a upgrade to like Professor Xavier from the X-Men.
You know what I was thinking about earlier today actually is like, like back in like the 70s, they probably were talking about like, oh, like in the future we'll have this and we'll have this and we'll have this or whatever, right? Like I don't ever really think about like in the future we'll have this. Like, maybe when I think about in the future, I think about like, okay, well, are we going to like cure cancer? Are we going to do this? Or are we going to do that? Like maybe those kind of things or whatever, right? And like excluding those, I think like technology, like in the way that we use it, like with like cars, like we have self-driving cars, we have this, we have that, we have like these like amazing cameras that are like relatively inexpensive. You have like variations of products coming out to like give new uses to things, like Wi-Fi on toasters or whatever, and all this other stuff. And I was just thinking about it earlier today, and I was like, like if technology stopped evolving today, and like the stuff that we have is like the stuff that we're stuck with for like the rest of our lives, like putting aside like medical technology and like making people's lives healthier and more fulfilling, I think that would be okay. Like, I don't think we need faster computers
Yeah.
necessarily. For at least lower level stuff, right? Like for us peasants over here. But like, NASA probably needs faster computers than what we have to like, decode, the myths and realities about space and whatever.
We're gonna find out what Area 51 does.
Yeah. We need like
We
a
need to know.
X-ray gun to get into Area 51 that
funny.
goes through lead. We get there, but
But like that's definitely a very interesting point. Whether or not like if we just kind of, it's not even like plateauing; it's just kind of equal off. Of,
yeah, it's. I don't feel like we've plateaued, but I'm
Yeah.
just like so content with the type of technology that we have.
Yeah.
I'm just like, do we need more? Like and I'm not saying like you stop making technology,
Yeah, yeah,
right?
yeah.
I'm not saying like, okay, all the video games that exist today,
Yeah.
that's all we need. We don't need any more.
Yeah.
Like you keep making stuff, but like, do video games really need to get too much better? Like,
Yeah.
do movies need to get more realistic?
Actually, I have a question for you.
What?
Do you think like people in the 60s felt the same way? Like people back then?
No, I don't, because like the people in the 60s were all like
Well,
always
they
drawing
didn't know, though.
pictures.
They didn't know though.
No, they didn't know, but they had ideas, right?
Yeah.
Like they'd always draw pictures of like not just random people who drew pictures of the future or whatever. They were on drugs, but no, they would have ideas of like what a city in the future might look like,
Yeah.
or like the flying car is like the most famous example. But then there's like technology, or like somebody in like the 1950s, I think, after the first computer came out, they were like, one day we're gonna have a computer so small that you'll be able to put it in your pocket.
yeah,
And I guess like my thought kind of like coincides with Moore's law.
Yeah.
About like technology, kind of like the capacity of technology doubling
like
every
doubles.
year.
Yeah.
And if you look at it, like AMD, we just went from 14 nanometer technology to 7 nanometer technology, like in the mainstream. And like, I don't know how much smaller they need to go, but we're running out of nanometers. Like, we're going to be, and these computers are already fast and everything anyways. Like at least where I am, because like, 10 years ago, I was like, oh my God, I wish my computer was faster. Like, this sucks. Computers are so slow,
Yeah.
blah, blah, blah. And like, I had a top of the line computer 10 years ago.
Yeah.
And then now I have like, a computer that's like 3 or 4 years old, and it's not top of the line anymore. It was, but it's very fast, and
Yeah.
I'm totally okay with it.
Well,
And
one thing I definitely would like to see is like I wanted to see that part where we can finally get into like the quantum type.
quantum computing, consumer level quantum computing.
I wanted to get to the point of it becoming like consumer level, which I definitely probably be long dead
What does that
before
mean?
then.
Quantum like
I don't know how to explain quantum
because
computing.
because I don't know, and I don't know how many of our viewers or listeners would know.
That's funny.
Well, quantum is a word that is commonly thrown around to mean very complicated. No, quantum computing is the use of quantum mechanical phenomena such as superposition and entanglement to perform computation. Quantum computer is used to perform such computation, which can be implemented theoretically or physically. Quantum mechanics, and again, I'm not a scientist, but quantum mechanics, I'm pretty sure, deals with like
Is that
kind of the idea, like things existing in the same place at the same time.
Yeah.
So
and
that's like
whatever.
the idea, like 4D essentially.
Yeah. So
Fourth
it's
dimension.
basically breaking into like multiple dimensions and parallels to basically
what's that,
build an
cat?
algorithm.
The cat.
Schrodinger's box.
Schrodinger's box. Yeah. Like quantum theory kind of like it's like Schrodinger's box, right? Where like the cat is inside and it's both dead and alive at the same time, and like you don't know until you look at it. Quantum is kind of just like existing.
But even then, like
Behind
so
a
if it gets
wall.
down to like let's
The
say
fourth dimension.
a specific quantum type, it's just about a sense of reality itself that's actually parallel within the universe. So it's not so much as a single entity; it's all entity at one time. So that's a concept of the quantum computer. It's not looking at one single portion where it's like in a sense linear. It's looking at it more of an abstract with all visible information all around, like everywhere.
Well, it's another thing too, is like they're trying to like come up with quantum passwords and stuff, because like your password is like you can't really guess your password.
Yeah.
Like you could guess, like if I knew Steve really liked spaghetti, right? You know, and I guess his password was like spaghetti123. That's like a lucky guess. But like an actual but like an actual guess, like you wouldn't be able to guess, because like your password is all passwords at the same time, kind of, and like
it's your password, but also too it would have a tendency of, I guess, in a sense, like changing when it pleases at that point, which you would obviously have that retained information still. So yeah, that's. She's like, okay.
It's quantum. Yeah, I don't know.
It's really funky. I would definitely highly.
Everybody who I
recommend it.
knew in university who had to take some kind of like quantum classes,
like some sort of
hated
physics,
it.
Oh,
They
it's
hated
just-
their lives. They did not like those classes.
It's
at all.
very very complex in a sense when you actually kind of just like look at it. As
We
a
all
whole.
probably sound like idiots talking about this right now, and we're just embarrassing ourselves.
This is just like well,
Except for James.
yeah. I was gonna say this is just like a very very like skin
And
at the top
James.
layman type explanation. Of course, like we would have to do a whole show dedicated to like actually just.
I don't
get
wanna
into
do
the
that
breach.
show.
But one book I always like was The Theory of Everything by Brian Greene, which I actually read, and he kind of goes into the whole.
I love how he followed that off with, which I actually read, as if like right off the bat, like nobody believes that he read it. But then he like
subjective. But,
solidifies
like,
it for you.
It's so funny because like he has.
Well, sometimes he says he likes books, but he hasn't read them yet.
So
Steve has books.
Oh no, because like I think I must have read that book.
He has like
two or
a
three
list
times.
of books that he references.
I only read like less than 10 books in my life. To be
But-
honest.
Whoa, are you serious?
Probably yes.
Oh my god.
Time to
Like
start
chapter
reading a little
books,
bit
like
more.
not like.
Like
That's
actual
like
novels.
all of the Harry Potter books and all of the Lord of the Ring books, and that's all he's ever read.
Oh well, kudos. Those are good books, anyways.
Cool. I wish my life was that simple.
Like the only books I read were for school. Like I never like read a book.
like textbooks?
Never. No, I'm talking about like.
Well, I was gonna
English
say like
classic books.
yeah, it was
Guys, we should do a book club.
a book club. Ooh,
Yeah.
Do you want to do a book club?
Okay.
it'd have to be like kind of like Oprah Winfrey's,
We'll think about it. We'll
like
talk
the
about
like
it.
like the book of the week. So yeah, he's great. Like he does a bunch of his own little like segments and stuff like that, like on Nova and whatnot. Yeah, I don't know. You guys know what Nova is, right? Nova. Yeah, okay. So he does his own little segments of like theories and everything. So it's basically just kind of like a written version of what he covered as well on there, where he kind of adds a little bit more details of talk about the possibilities of string theory and such. But yeah, honestly, check it out.
Kind of like how
if
you're like
interesting.
stringing these words together so that they make sense to you,
Get
but
outta
nobody
here.
else.
They're just like, what is this
I
kid
just looked
talking
up what a
about?
nova is. And I was
No,
flashing star.
no, Nova is the
that-
station that it streams on television.
Oh, I thought you were talking about. I'm thinking
No,
like a
not-
supernova.
not-
like
Yeah,
not
a
an
yeah,
actual-
that's what I was thinking too, and I was
No.
very confused.
No,
I,
no,
but
it's-
I don't want to sound stupid. To be
The
honest.
production,
That's okay. Me and James are in the same boat.
the production company's called now.
And I was thinking about like a magic team. They're called Nova, so I was like, I'm like definitely not magic right now.
Yeah.
Y'all
anyways.
need to watch more science TV.
Hey man, I watched Bill Nye the Science Guy debate with the Christian
I watched a
Science
lot
guy.
of Neil deGrasse Tyson.
Oh man, Neil deGrasse Tyson in Cosmos is okay, but have
Yeah.
you guys seen any of his like regular stuff? It was like before he did Cosmos, he
Yeah.
did like a lecture where like there wasn't a writing team behind him. He was
Yeah.
just kind of saying what he wanted.
Yeah.
Oh man, I tried to watch it because I was like, wow, Neil deGrasse Tyson, he's really good, really interesting on Cosmos. And then I watched his actual like
just-
show,
yeah.
and it was so boring.
Some of his podcasts are okay.
It was kind of
Oh
fun.
yeah, if you got to pick and choose the
Yeah.
topics though, because like sometimes he'll go off on like a rant for
Yeah.
hours, and it's just like, oh boy,
Well,
this
'cause,
guy likes stars.
From what? Was he like? Yeah, he's an astrophysicist, right?
Pluto's not a planet.
But no, because I heard mixed reviews about that guy. Like I heard like he sometimes can be like a little on the jerk side versus as
He's kind of like a
solid.
know-it-all in his field, and he's also like famous
Yeah.
and popular. So,
Yeah, so it's
you know what happens when like nerds get famous and popular? They're kind of a little bit of jerks sometimes.
They make podcasts.
Yeah. Well, I guess so.
Yeah.
Yeah. What was the last topic? What were we gonna
Hey,
talk about?
What was it
Shane.
the-
Oh, go ahead. Sorry, go ahead.
No, I don't care.
What do you mean you don't care? You had a point. Raise it. Come on. What is it?
No, I was just gonna ask you a dumb question. What was like the most embarrassing thing that ever happened to you?
Oh my god, I don't even want to say.
You have to say. Okay,
Steve, what's the most embarrassing thing that ever happened to you?
My birth.
You're like, why? I didn't put me back in.
that's your parents' most embarrassing thing.
I don't know.
Keep
Like
saying, this is
I
my kid.
I don't really like embarrass easily. Like I'm a man of comedy. Basically, I put myself in a situation where it's only acceptable if I can make fun of myself about it. I can make fun of anything about it. So
Do you ever have like
it's-
anxiety moments where you're very nervous about
No,
stuff?
no, I don't have like anxiety issues or anything like that.
I can
you,
vouch
Shane?
for that.
How about
Yeah.
you, Shane? Do you have anxiety moments or anything like that?
Not like particularly, like not in any like repeatable, describable way. Like I don't really get anxious about things. I don't really feel awkward about things.
Yeah.
But definitely had some like weird, embarrassing moments. Like, so I don't really know what my most embarrassing moment was. But like a lot of them probably happened in high school, but there was this one time. So I'm in high school, and there was this like I moved to a new school, and I was like making friends and stuff, right?
Yeah.
And there was this one girl who I was like friends with, and like we were like kind of buddy, like we were friends, like legit.
Yeah.
At this point, we hung out outside of school a couple times with like a group of people or whatever, and so like we're actual friends. And then so this one day I see her at school, and I was hanging out with this girl, and I saw her in the morning before classes, and she was wearing like jeans and a t-shirt or something. And I go to meet up with her at lunch and like around our locker.
Yeah.
And like a couple of weeks prior, she like put her hands around my head from behind, and she's like, "Guess who?" And like I didn't recognize the voice or whatever, and I was like, "Who?" Like I don't know. I was like really confused. And so I saw this girl, and she was wearing like jeans and a t-shirt, and I went up behind her, put my hands on her eyes, and I was like, "Guess who?" And then this chick like turns around, and it's a totally different person. and like it was my first couple of weeks at this school, and so it was like so awkward.
Yeah.
And then like I can only imagine like the stories they told about me afterwards, like that like creepy weird guy like put his hands around me. There's another thing too, like that same girl, I don't know, I feel like she had like a crush on me at some point or whatever, and like I just wasn't like feeling it back. But she told me that I had to like enter, like those little things where like they try to raise money, and so like they make people like go in. I don't even know what the hell it's called. It was like some kind of fundraiser.
Okay.
You're supposed to like go in front of the school, and like they're supposed to bid on you.
Oh, okay.
And then they like,
like
get to like dress you up however they want.
Like
for
a
the day.
bachelor thing?
In school? No, it was in high school.
Okay,
same school. This was like a month later. This
I was gonna say,
just kept having me do embarrassing things.
I was gonna say like it's kind of like where you can like purchase a date basically. It's type of
Well,
situation
yeah, but
like
you
that, but
basically you got to like you could bid on somebody,
Okay.
and like you could like make them wear like a tutu and
Yeah.
like wings or something for the day. And so she like made me sign up for it, and like I really didn't want to, and like
Yeah.
I was really trying to be like agreeable with these people.
Yeah.
And she made me sign up for it. And so what had to happen here was like I needed to like go up, and like nobody knew me. I was the new guy. I had like 3 friends, and like the friends that I had were kind of like semi-popular-ish, but like not like the most popular people.
Okay.
And also like I wasn't like the best looking in high school.
You're always the best looking in my understanding.
Yeah, I was just like whatever. And so I was like, okay, sure, I'll go up in front of there. But I was like really nervous and like really awkward.
We good.
And I was like really nervous, really awkward. They made me like go in front of the class and like or in front of the whole school, and like nobody bid on me except for like a couple of people, and like I ended up like having to wear like wings for like 10 minutes because like as soon as they put them on,
Yeah.
I basically just like went to class and like took them off.
Hey, just
Like-
put them in your locker.
Yeah, I was like, man, you guys like, how could you have thought that would have been a good idea?
Yeah.
And I was just like, whatever, like it's like your bad decisions. But yeah, they ended up kept on like pissing me off and stuff like
Yeah.
that. So I kind of just like stopped talking to them.
It's so funny too, just because like now that you kind of like reflect back, you just kind of at the time like you couldn't really articulate like the yes or no.
No.
Exactly. Yeah. It's just like I guess I might as well, since like you're more or less like a pushover back in the day, so like you can get like anybody to do anything. And then now you think back, you're like, what the hell's wrong with me? I should have just like no. Like,
Yeah, a weird
No.
thing is I was on student council in high school, and like when I tell people that, no one believes me.
Yeah, I was about to say I don't
that's
believe you.
funny. I was gonna say I legitimately
No.
wouldn't believe it.
I joined as a joke,
Yeah.
and like the first week I was gonna quit, and they're like, "Oh, we're going on a field trip." I'm like, "In, let's go. Where are we going?"
What was your position for
The
student
field
council?
trip was to the sewage plant.
It was just like the grade rep, and I was on that for all, I was on it for all 4
Okay.
years. I ran for like our prime minister. I lost.
Oh,
Fun fact:
shame.
if you still go in Leamington, I bought pencils that said like "Vote for Smiley" because Smiley was my nickname in high school.
okay.
And there's still pencils to this day that my Smiley pencils. It is astounding at Walmart. Like you go to Walmart and you can see my pencil there. Sometimes.
What do you mean?
Like I bought pencils for like "Vote for Smiley" for prime minister.
Okay.
And sometimes in the local Walmart, you can go there and still find these pencils.
Wait, like they sell them?
No, like they're just like in like their like customer service stuff. They just have them there.
Oh,
What? Oh man, we need
Oh,
to do
just
this.
Like,
We
and
need to go to
I didn't
Walmart.
give them to Walmart. Like they just magically got there.
we got to
they were
we gotta
only
make a
in
trip to
high
Leamington.
school.
James ordered 10 and they sent him 10,000.
No,
So he just resold them back to Walmart.
I think my mom spent like $200 on them. Like I just like,
Yeah.
oh,
Your mom spent $200 on pencils to get you voted prime minister of
Yes, I did not win.
school,
By the
and
way.
you didn't even win.
No, I got last place. I think I got like 100 votes.
Why do you think you lost?
There's a few, like I don't think I was that popular. Like the other people were more popular. Like it is a popularity contest. Let's be
Oh,
honest.
for sure.
Like I think out of like 500 good votes, I got like 100,
Okay.
and
not
like
that bad.
someone else got like 300, and one was like 150, 200.
Kind of reminds me.
gotcha.
There's this guy I went to high school with, and like I always kind of thought he was like a douche, but he like always won like the political things in high school and stuff.
Yeah.
But then like recently he ran for mayor of Windsor,
Oh God.
and he lost with like he had like 300 votes. Like basically all of his friends voted for him, but that was it.
What do you think his popularity was going to transfer outside of high school?
Yeah, I have no idea.
It just kind of put you a little in introspect with like his like mentality. I
yeah.
guess he just
Well, I
never
think
left that
I
high
don't know.
school
Maybe it was
phase.
like a troll campaign or something, but yeah,
But still, he got like 300 votes out of like I don't
at
even know.
least 30,000,
Yeah,
40,000, 50,000. Yeah, I don't know. That's stupid.
That's funny.
But
Yeah. For like anxiety, I get like anxiety when I play like Magic sometimes. Like if I'm playing for like a lot of money or like big stakes, I feel like I get anxious.
that's normal anxiety though. Like that's
But yeah, it's just
like
kind
performance anxiety.
yeah. Or
Of Shane would know all about that.
Oh, of course I would.
or if I'm doing good, it's like I feel like if I lose, like, do you guys ever get like tilted?
What does that mean?
Tilted?
You don't know?
Yeah,
what tilted?
that's too moderate for us.
That's like a poker term. Like, so the idea of tilt, where it comes from, is for like pinball machines. If you tilt it a certain way, it's like it stops. It's like,
Yeah.
oh, you're tilting the game, so you can't play it anymore. Like
Oh, so you like
if
flip the board like kamikaze?
yeah, like if you tilt it. So the idea of tilt, what it is basically,
Yeah.
like let's just say you're playing like a game.
Yeah.
Once you're tilted, you would do a worse play because you're so mad at yourself or just
Oh,
mad.
okay.
at
Oh,
yourself.
okay.
So the tilt is the idea of that being.
Oh,
mad.
so it's
Yeah, I wouldn't
basically like
really-
another terminology for like rage quitting, to sort of
Yeah.
speak.
Yeah. Well, like yeah, you get blinded by anger. Yeah, no, I don't. That doesn't really happen to me.
Yeah.
Tilted is like a big thing in like poker, like card games.
No,
and
I don't
stuff.
know. Like I don't get like frustrated or like if I'm sucking at something, I'm just like okay.
Yeah,
I'll
like-
just continue to play until I.
I
figure
might
it
lose
out.
motivation. Like if I'm playing,
How many times do you pay for stuff for like stakes though? That's the thing. Like, do you just play for fun or play for stakes? There's a big difference.
Oh,
there.
playing
If-
for
if-
stakes. Okay.
because like playing for stakes and playing for fun is very.
well, yeah,
different.
but if you're not playing beyond your means
Yeah.
and you're having a good time, like I still don't get mad. Even when I like go to those like little tournaments and we play whatever, and like the stakes are like a couple $100 worth of cards and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And like I'm not a big Magic player, but like I still want those cards. And like when I lose, I don't like feel bad. Even if it was stakes for me, like if I put $100 into a poker pool
Yeah.
and like I don't play very well. Like I wouldn't put money into a game if I couldn't afford it, and like
Yeah.
I'd like to win, but like the playing of poker is fun, and so
Yeah.
well, like for me, like I get tilted if like I don't care if I get unlucky. I get tilted if I think I played bad.
Oh, if you just played bad, so it's
Yeah,
like
like it-
self performance basically.
Yes,
So
like if I know I made a mistake
Yeah.
and like it wasn't like something like, oh, I just got unlucky.
Yeah.
That's when I'm upset.
the last time I played James at Magic, I beat him,
I got unlucky though.
and it was
I-
because he
I
made a
was-
mistake.
did you get tilted?
Yeah, because Shane rubbed it in, but that's besides the
funny.
point.
Still rubbing it in.
I think like the only thing where I would just kind of feel disappointed with myself is like if it's something more or less like a physical, like when I used to play like sports and everything back in the day, and if it felt like I could have done better, if I should have done better,
When he sees his
Oh.
physical, every time he looks at his dick, he gets tilted.
just sit there.
He's like, "What?" Yells back at him.
He yells back. But no, like other than that, like and anything else, like any little like smaller things, like item card games, any like video games, anything like that. Like no, it just never bothered me. Even I don't know. It was just basically when it was just like sports and it was something like actual physical, but that could be assurant to like let's say like adrenaline and stuff like that too. So he's just like, damn, like I could have definitely ran better. I could have done better. I could have did this better, but.
Yeah, that's how I feel about everything. That kind of reminds me too. You guys ever like think about like, wow, if I didn't spend money on all that crap, I'd still have it now or whatever, right? Like sometimes I like buy something and like it breaks or it's just like not good quality. That's my philosophy now. Like I don't cheap out on things. Like if I'm gonna buy something, I buy the best version of that, because the amount of times I've put $20 down on something that I should have spent like $200 on or $100 on, and then it like breaks or it doesn't work as well, and now I'm out $20 and I still have to buy that thing.
It's a piece of crap thing, and then you have to rebuy a purchase like
Oh
another
yeah,
better quality.
yeah. I always think about that, and I'm like, like I always think like, wow, if I didn't buy this or if I didn't do this, like I'd just be able to do more now or whatever.
Isn't that more or less like on the lines of like, let's say like impulsive shopping, to sort of speak?
Not necessarily. Well, because like we needed a new camera, right?
Yeah.
And had I cheaped out
Yeah.
or been impatient and then like got one that we didn't need, then we'd be stuck with it.
Yeah.
And then it wouldn't work.
You wouldn't
and
see
then we'd have to buy another one.
loveliness all in 4K.
Yeah.
On YouTube.com, Hotline Hangout.
HotlineHangout.youtube. Yeah. But you know what I mean though, right? Like you kind of like you gotta hedge your bet. Like what I'm saying though is like, I bought like, and this is just like a stupid example, but you could spend like $200 on like a ND filter for your camera, which is basically like sunglasses for your camera.
Okay.
and basically, you could spend $200 on like a real one, a good one, and like that'll be like great quality and like it works and it doesn't like make your image look weird or anything.
Okay.
Or you could spend like $20 on like an Amazon Basics one. The Amazon Basics one is garbage. It has like lens flares and like, it like distorts your image and
All
does
of a
this
sudden
and
you're
that.
Michael Bay lens
Well,
flares. Is that like his forte?
No, not good lens flares, bad lens flares. But then you're out $20 and you still needed a thing, right? So then you're just stuck. Same with same buying anything. Like these tripods here. Yeah. Like that one right there. Yeah. That tripod cost $20. Yeah. And that was the first tripod I bought. And then the other two tripods cost $300 to $400. I was still out for that one, but I guess it came in use anyways. But it's the worst tripod that I've ever purchased.
It's getting its work's worth.
Yeah, it's getting its use now. I bought it like 10 years ago. Oh, well, now it's getting used. So, whatever, I guess. See, and that's why people should hoard everything that they ever buy.
Yeah, James.
Yeah, all my magic cards. I own
Exhibit A.
Yep.
This is flustered in flood of magic cards in the back
thousands of dollars.
Yep.
Yes,
just
sir.
sitting on them. Anyways, it's been a slice, boys.
As always, man, it's been a pleasure.
Hello.
James, how awkward.
This is my most awkward moment.
Steve.
Yes, sir.
Where can our lovely viewers and listeners find us?
My little lovelies, you can definitely set us up on Instagram at Hotline Hangout Podcast, followed by our Twitter handle at Hotline Hangout. If you feel like you want to email us, give us a little bit more information, definitely hit us up on hotlinehangout@gmail.com.
Yeah.
Also, too, if you want to see the sexiness behind this voice, definitely hit us up on youtube.com, Hotline Hangout.
You can also catch us on anchor.fm/Hotline Hangout, and we're available on every podcasting platform that I can think of.
That's right.
Even SoundCloud?
No, SoundCloud's different, man.
That's my rap
We
group.
tried.
You
We
leave that alone.
really tried. We went into it. It doesn't work.
So make sure you tell your
They have
mother.
too much. You know, on SoundCloud, actually, if you want to do the podcast on there, you can only do so many episodes. And then they start cutting you off. You have to delete old episodes unless you pay for a pro account. Yeah. So if SoundCloud wants to sponsor us, then I'll do it. But otherwise, no.
That's right. You know our email address.
Or GoDaddy if you really want.
Yeah, GoDaddy.
It's open.